Welcome back to another exciting episode of the Loan Officer Leadership Podcast. I'm your host, Steve Kiles, and my great friend, Frank G, on the podcast today. What's up, baby?
What's going on, man? Good to be here again. Always is.
Frank,
I love your
correct.
podcast, man. You know what? You're a great podcaster. You've got that voice, you got that delivery, you know how to ask them questions. I'm learning a lot from you. I'm just getting started. So
well, I'm and I am so excited. You know, it's so funny. We always talk about that. Anything worth doing is worth doing badly. Just get started.
right.
It doesn't start great. You just gotta, after several years, I'm like, hey, I'm gonna keep getting better.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
well, I've got to tell you, I love having you on the podcast. And this episode, if you're wanting to know what exciting thing Frank is rolling out, you're listening to the right episode, because as a loan officer, it's pretty dang cool. So Frank, why don't you tell us what you're doing, man? It has to do with gizmos and gadgets. That's the teaser.
Yeah.
To help loan officers get better. What's up?
Yeah. Well, being involved with you and Carl has just been such an amazing, great experience, and I could not be happier. And more than once, both of you have suggested, maybe you should think about a podcast. And we were in San Antonio.
Yep.
And Carl brought it up again, and he said, "Man, you should think about it, Frank. Think about a podcast." And so I started to think, yeah, that might be fun. But then I was posed with the dilemma of what would I do? I mean, you and Carl and Scotty, and the rest of the team cover so much. And I was thinking, it's already done. What could I possibly bring to the table?
And but it's not done, because you found something that is remarkable.
Right. Because yeah. So me and Scotty do Loan Officer Breakfast Club, and so do you, of course, and we have other hosts, of course, but me and Scotty tend to be the ones that kind of we're always there. And so I've really gotten to know Scotty well, and he's just a gadget guy, right? Scotty loves the technology, the things that do things that, and it hit me in San Antonio. I thought, you know what I could do? I could do Loan Officer Gizmos and Gadgets, because let's face it, as a loan originator, there's so much stuff that's available to us to help us, technology wise, in all different capacities, like so many different aspects of your business. Like literally every aspect of your business has some technology piece that you could probably subscribe to or buy or what have you to help you with it. And I thought, man, I should do that. I should talk about these gizmos and gadgets and how they work, and if they're effective, and how people have found the best ways to make them as effective as possible for them in their business. And so I'm on this little journey. I've already pre-recorded, I don't know, maybe a dozen of them or something like that. A
whole bunch, man. Yeah. And it's great content, and for our listeners, listen, we want you got to focus on the fundamentals, but as you're growing and you've got your fundamentals dialed in, there are some cool tools that will absolutely help you. Like you were telling me about the one that gets all of your contacts out of your phone. Yeah. I actually did it this last week. I had 7,000 contacts and I sent it to my VA and said, hey, I want you to organize it. And guess what? We pulled all the realtors out and we're texting all the realtors this week.
There you go.
And it was like, dude, this is phenomenal. And we just put that inside of a Zip Whip. And then she's literally scheduling a text to go out to advertise for a leveraged event we're doing next week on social media. Yeah. And I thought, bro, had you not mentioned that one app, by the way, tell everybody what it is.
It's Covey Export, and it's our first Loan Officer Gizmos and Gadgets podcast is about,
which releases tomorrow. Well, by this time when you're listening to it, released on January 8th.
Correct.
Awesome,
right.
Dude.
Yeah, Covey, and it's Covve Export, and I don't know how I came across it. Scott keeps giving me credit. Man, I can't believe you found this. I'm like, I didn't find this. Somebody else said it, right, and I just remembered it. Yeah. Right. But here's a perfect example. You just said, hey, Frank, I did this thing and I sent it to my VA and she scrubbed it out. And now we're going to text out. And you said some other product. What was the product? Zip it? What was it?
Yeah, Zip Whip. And so Zip Whip's a way to send out mass text, and it actually clones my cell phone. And so I'm not even sending it, and you can schedule. Hey,
hey, stop! We're going to do a podcast on it.
And Crystal knows we still got to do that one.
We still got to do Crystal knows, right? So there's just so many things that we can talk about, and so I appreciate the way that you opened this saying, look, we know the fundamentals, we know what we need to do. And I think most of the gizmos and gadgets that we cover, what they're really doing is just helping us with those fundamentals. In this perfect example here, we always talk about texting our realtors. On Thursdays, we text our realtors. Well, does zip whip or whip zip, whatever you said, that helps with it, right?
Yeah.
That helps. So yeah, we're definitely going to do a podcast on that.
Dude, I love it. Well, and what's so cool is it's right up your alley, man. So even from the podcast art, it's like Inspector Gadget kind of stuff. I'm like, dude, this is so cool.
Yeah, the team put that together. It's so funny. They're so great. I love them so much.
Hey, well, tell us when is the podcast going to be? Like, it's every what?
It's every Saturday. It's every Saturday, and we've got a lot stacked up. Just tune in, man. You'll always learn something. Really,
give us
really
a
cool.
list of who have you already recorded? So we did.
Okay, so me and Scotty did. We did the Covey export, and we kind of combined that with Sly Broadcast.
Yep, very cool.
Okay, which is another like Zip Whip. It's very similar to that, apparently. What else? Who else did I do? Oh, you know what I did? I did a really cool one with Alec Hansen, and I'm sure a lot of people, loan officers, if you probably know Alec, he's a video guy, right? He does kind of motivational speaking on video technology, and just you see him on Facebook and LinkedIn and all over the place. But if you notice with Alec, I've watched him since he kind of got started, and then his video quality has just improved, and his editing has gotten crazy and funny and interesting. So I did a podcast with him about his equipment and his editing software, because there's a lot of originators who are brand new to video and just getting started, and the iPhone is great, right? To do that. But there's also a lot of originators who are going to the next levels with that. Sometimes you catch the video bug as an originator, and you want to do more. You want to explore editing. You want to make interesting, visually stimulating videos. There's a handful of loan officers that like that. So that podcast was specifically for those LOs, those guys who want to step up beyond the iPhone, right? And start entering into editing, and what type of cameras does he use, and microphones and editing software and mixing boards and all that. So that was kind of an interesting one. It's a gizmo or a gadget, right?
Yeah,
so,
that's it. I love it.
So,
give some others. Any
me and Jen Conley did HomeBot.
Yeah, that's a cool one.
John Hinks and I did Sales Boomerang.
Love that.
What else did I do? Gosh, I can't remember right now.
That's so cool.
I've done several. Yeah, just a bunch of them. And it's always fun and interesting. And here's what I like about it. I'm telling you, Steve, literally probably 99% of the gizmos and gadgets that I've been talking about with these people, I have no idea what they are, how they work. So it's great, because I'm like, hold on, back up a second. Let me rewind this. What does it do now? How do you do that? So it's just as if somebody was listening to the podcast who doesn't know what it is. Well, you and I are together on this, right? We're learning about it together. So it's great, man. You get a good idea and a good handle on what the product does, kind of what the pricing is for it, and if it could work for you.
Man, that's super cool. Well, I love it. There's a huge need, and you can vet through the ones that really help enhance what we're already doing. And that's what you're looking for. You're looking for an amplifier, something that gives you leverage, and why not use the technology? So, hey, while you're on, give, what are you thinking about for 2022? What are some of the things you would encourage our listeners today and say, as you're rolling into 2022, by the time this releases, it'll be the end of January. Give some encouragement to our LOs. And by the way, if you're not going to the Loan Officer Breakfast Club every Monday through Thursday, I want to invite you to it. Frank Garay leads the Loan Officer Breakfast Club. And like he said, Scotty's there and Carl, and I show up. I'm trying to go a couple times a week. That's my commitment. I want to go 2 days a week. And, but man, I love the Breakfast Club because it's like a morning shot in the arm on not only motivation, but what to be focused on and fundamentals. And then there's great conversations. So I want to encourage you. Go to the Breakfast Club. It's a great way to start the day. If you want to know more about it, loanofficerbreakfastclub.com. And then you can just sign up for the Zoom. It's a Zoom, literally like a Zoom, not a webinar. It's like a Zoom conversation.
It's a Zoom call.
It's like a mastermind.
Yeah.
So
it's a Zoom call. You can unmute, ask your question, raise your hand, ask questions in chat, help out. One of the coolest things about Loan Officer Breakfast Club is everybody helps everybody out. And it was, you were on it. It was yesterday's. It was Thursdays where we had Skylar Dunn. She's a new originator, posed the question in the group, the Facebook group. Hey, I'm new. I'm 22. And she's a little apprehensive about, trying to build realtor relationships, being so young, doesn't even have a mortgage on her own. And it was so neat to just have everybody help in that regards. And everybody's just so eager to raise their hand. I got it. I can help you. I can help you. So yeah, Loan Officer Breakfast Club is cool.
Was very really cool, man.
Yeah. So as far as 2022 goes, here's what so I got to say this, having done the National Real Estate Post for 15 years with Brian Stevens, awesome show, awesome podcast. It's not a podcast. I would say it's a video blog, right? A daily news video blog. If you're not tuned into the National Real Estate Post, you need to get tuned into the National Real Estate Post because Brian Stevens has great commentary and, on everything. Well, having been part of that for so long, I've become a real estate news junkie. Okay. And so I just, I can't help myself. And so I still look at it every day. And sometimes I bring up stuff on Loan Officer Breakfast Club. What I'm getting at is that what I've decided to do is the things that I find interesting, I just tweet them. So if you go to Twitter, you can find me. It's at the Frank Garay. And even this morning, I tweeted something. I just tweet maybe 2 or 3 times a day. I see articles that are interesting that I think might be useful to us as originators, tweet them with a little snippet, something like that. So in doing that, looking at 2022 and what's going on, there's as of right now, and this can change, right? Anything can change, but as of right now, the news is that real estate is going to continue to be strong, very, very strong, regardless of rates. Okay. So right now we're experiencing rates bump up. Okay. And I know that can be a little scary for originators because, that's a pretty big metric of our business, right? But we're seeing them scooch up. The prognosticators are saying, you're probably going to see rates bump up around that 3.75 mark, right? For the year, somewhere around there, but they don't think it will go into the forest. That's what they're saying right now, but who knows? Anything could change. My point that I want to make about that is even if it does go into the forest, guys, these are still historically insanely low interest rates. They are nuts. And even though we may have refinanced a bunch of customers into the 2s, low 2s, that type of a thing, Steve, people are creatures of habit, right? And people are going to find themselves back in debt again or wanting to do a home improvement or put in a pool or whatever the case may be. I'm just telling you, your refi business, sure, it'll slow down. It's not going to be the frenzy that it was to get the 2% rate, right? It's not going to be that frenzy, but the rates are still going to be low enough that people will still, even the ones you did it to, they're going to come back and go, well, I want to put in that pool. It's going to be 80 grand. I figure the best way to do it is pull some money out. Even if it's 3 3/4, that's still way better than me pulling my savings out or what, right? So so I guess what I want to say is for the originators out there, don't be too freaked out on the rates, right? They are what they are. There's nothing you can do about it. You can't control it. The good news though is that real estate is still projected to be super, super hot. It's like it's still gangbusters. And again, it's just a supply and demand situation. So regardless of rates, you're still going to have a strong real estate market going forward in 22, which points us back to what we always teach at Marketing Animals, man. We got to take care of our real estate partners. We got to find the right ones to work with. We got to stay in touch with them. We got to provide a high level of service through communication, following up on their leads, right? We do all these things, we're going to do well. And we can continually add qualified agents to our list of agents that we work with. We know how to do that. And we know how to meet with them. We know how to have conversations with them. We know how to start doing business with them. Stay focused in that arena and just control the one and only thing that you can control in this industry. And that is you and your mouth. Okay. That's it, man. That's what you can control. Don't worry about rates. You can't control that. Don't worry about China. Don't worry about lumber prices. You can't control any of that stuff. But what you can control is picking up the phone, right? Having a conversation.
That's it.
And asking for the business.
You have absolutely nailed it on the head, and there will be the ups and downs. And I think you've got to keep a mindset of opportunity, fundamentals, opportunity, opportunity, bro. I love that. Huge.
Yeah. It's going to be a strong year. I would say that for the originators out there that are listening, and if you've been in this business, say 10 years, it's been really a great ride, right? For a long time. And I think the ride's going to continue even though rates bump up some, I think the ride's going to continue for at least another 2 or 3 years. And so, with that in mind, keep in mind that the industry right now and the market right now is still in your favor. It's in your favor. And
when
if
people buy houses, they have to have mortgages.
They need them.
It's not like it's a luxury. When they buy the house, they got a mortgage.
They got to get a mortgage, right?
That's it. So get better at your scripting and get better at your processes.
Yes.
Get better
and your
at conversion.
Yeah. Yes. Get better at those things. That's what I was going to say, Steve. Is just like really focus on your business, right? Focus on your business because the industry is still in your favor. And so you can just really nail down and focus on your systems, your conversions, right? That's what you need to focus on.
Great word, man. Well, I've got to tell you, brother, I love having you on the podcast. I love linking arms with you. Super excited about Loan Officer Gizmos and Gadgets with my boy, Frank G. Now it says Frank Garay, but I call him Frank G. What's up, baby? Frankie G. But man, I sure love you and thankful to be doing life with you. If you're listening to the podcast, hey, I want to invite you to subscribe and share. Who are the 3 loan officers today that you can literally share the podcast with that would help them get better, go further, faster together? So subscribe, share, stay connected to our community. If you're not involved in the Loan Officer Breakfast Club, you're missing an amazing free gift that we give every single month. Well, it's Monday through Thursday because we believe in taking Fridays off. You've earned it if you worked hard enough, not hard enough, but you've done the right work. You've earned the right to take Fridays off. And so, man, we just want to invite you on the journey. Frank and I are passionate, as well as Carl and the entire team, just about helping you this year go further, faster. And it's a lot more fun when we're doing it together, brother. So thank you for being here. And thank you, listeners and the people that are a part of this community. Frank, I'm getting text every day and messages about how the message of the podcast and the marketing animals is changing lives.
Oh, big time.
Dude, it's so cool to be here. So thank you, listeners. Thank you, everyone who is on the journey. Thank you, Frank. And with that, remember this: anything worth doing is worth doing badly. Just get started. See ya.